and welcome to the Growth and Thriving Morning Mindset. I am Dr. Jerry Sunshine Novak, the Biker Psychologist, and I'm your host for this session, well, for all sessions. And today, I would like to talk to you about what is probably the single most well-researched, well-supported, and yet super simple practice you can engage in just 5 to 10 minutes a day. That will give you tremendous benefit in so many areas of your life, in relationships, in mental health, in physical health, in career functioning, all kinds of areas. And that is a gratitude practice. People who practice gratitude take a few minutes a day to engage in this intentionally, and they have so many advantages over people who don't practice gratitude. So don't roll your eyes. Don't, I know it sounds a little touchy-feely and like, oh, I have to be grateful for everything. I will talk to you today in just 5 or 10 minutes here about what gratitude is and what it is not, and how to practice it and how to benefit from it. But first, let me tell you what the research says. When we compare people who just have a gratitude practice with no other instructions, gratitude practice, so each day or a couple times a week or on whatever interval, intentionally consider the things, 3, 4, 5 things for which you are grateful, and elaborate a little bit on why you're grateful for them. What do they do for you? What do they add to your life? And when you do, people who do that they report better relationship satisfaction. And here's what's important. So do their partners. Their partners, their friends, other people that they interact with report better relational satisfaction with those who practice gratitude than with those who do not. People who practice gratitude have improved physical health. They have improved fitness, better mental health, less depression, less anxiety, fewer PTSD symptoms, even improved ADHD over people who do not practice gratitude. People with a gratitude practice have increased empathy and reduced aggression as compared to people who don't practice gratitude. They have improved sleep, which is hugely important. If gratitude is the single most well-researched and supported practice to improve your growing and thriving, sleep is a super close second by a very thin margin. People who practice gratitude have improved self-esteem and increased mental resilience, meaning that their ability to handle hardship and obstacles when they arise is better. They have an advantage in that area over people who don't practice gratitude. So these are real research findings. They are not serendipity. They are not anecdotal. They are real experimental research. And so how does it work? How does practicing gratitude improve all of these areas of your life? Well, in short, first of all, if you want to be very medical or scientific about it, gratitude, when they use brain imaging technology, functional MRIs and PET scans and things like that, what they find is that people who have a gratitude practice legitimately change both the form and the function of their brains. So when we talk about the form of their brains, what we're saying is there's actually increased growth, increased size and density in areas of the brain that contribute to mental health, well-being, happiness, relationships, decision-making, things of that sort. When we talk about function of the brain, in other types of scans, we can see increased metabolic activity in those areas. So not only do those areas grow, but they have increased metabolic activity, suggesting that those areas of the brain are more engaged than in people who do not have the gratitude practice. I suspect the reason for this has to do with the negativity bias. Nature equips animals, including people, with what we need to survive. And one of the things we have is what's called a negativity bias. What that means is that we are wired to notice things that are wrong. So if, you wake up 1,000 days in a row and you feel just fine, you have good energy, you slept well, you're not sick, nothing hurts, you're unlikely to not notice. You just get up and you kind of go through your day. You brush your teeth, you get dressed, or shower, get dressed, and go and do whatever it is you're going to do and not notice. But if you wake up one day with a fever or aches and pains or nausea, you'll notice right away. Same thing, you can eat, 100 strawberries, 100 blueberries, whatever, and they can be delicious and sweet and nutritious and delicious, and you kind of take it for granted. Get one bad one or eat one unknown berry that makes you sick, and you will recognize that berry forever. You'll know it forever. And this is something nature equips us with so that it keeps us alive, right? If a food or something is going to be dangerous, it's going to threaten our existence, we want to avoid it. But there's nothing in nature that makes us give that same attention and that same energy to the things that fulfill us, to the things that we enjoy, to the things that make us happy, right? And so we have to intentionally, the way we have to intentionally build muscle or build up our heart and lungs for cardiovascular activity, we have to intentionally build up those areas of our brain that help us feel happy and fulfilled and satisfied. And in doing so, it improves our capacity in all of these other areas. So let me cut to the chase. How do you create a gratitude practice? The basics are simple. There are 3 methods that you can choose any one of the 3. I happen to like some combination of the 3, and I think that's most effective for me, but you can play and see what's most effective for you. The first way is writing. So many people keep what's called a gratitude journal, meaning each day they journal and they write down at least 3 things for which they're grateful, and they elaborate in a sentence or 2 or 3. It doesn't have to be full paragraphs. Just if you just list it, it's probably not going to have enough impact to really change your life. But if you go a little bit deeper than that, if you list, well, I'm grateful for my job. Okay, great. But if you say, well, I'm grateful for my job because it provides me the kind of financial stability and income I need to live in a nice house and support my family comfortably, and I don't have to worry about financial things, that's hitting the nail on the head. It's not terribly long. You don't have to spend a lot of time on it, but it elaborates a bit. So writing is one method. A second method is by speaking your gratitude out loud. My family, on Friday nights, we sit around the dinner table. We have family dinner together. And as part of our Friday night dinner, we take turns talking about the things for which we're grateful. And so we share it with each other. That's one way to do it. You could have a gratitude accountability partner who you talk to, or message would be writing, I guess, emailing or writing, but who you talk to regularly, daily, 3 times a week, something like that, and you each share the things for which you're grateful. The third version of that is to speak it out loud when nobody's around. While you're working in your garden or cleaning your house or preparing dinner, you can out loud talk about the things for which you're grateful. The third method is internally. Now this one's tricky because you have to hold yourself accountable for really doing the work on this one. But you can just sit quietly and consider the things, sort of count your blessings and consider the things for which you're grateful and elaborate on them a bit. So I'll give you a little insight to how I practice each one. The writing one is easy. I keep a journal. I don't do a specific gratitude journal, but I journal twice a week, and each journal entry ends with 3 things for which I'm grateful and why. I speak gratitude at least Friday nights with my family, but very often I try to make a point with friends and other people. If somebody does something for me or I have a nice conversation, I try to tell people I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for you in my life. And then the third way is I'm a meditator, and when I meditate, I try to do mindfulness meditation or Qigong meditation, but a lot of mindfulness. I focus on my breath, on the here and now. I try to stay present focused. But then before I finish meditating, I, in my mind, have to go through 3 things for which I'm grateful and why. So those are the ways to do that. I will say, just like this email, the morning mindset emails come on Monday and Friday. The reason for that is that we are designed so that the first thing that happens to us in a conversation, in a day, in a week, impacts us profoundly, has good impact on us. And the last thing that happens has good impact. So if I gave you a shopping list, hey, go to the store and get these few things, you'll remember the first one or two and you'll remember the last one or two, but you would struggle to remember more of them in the middle. So I would make a point of doing your gratitude practice first thing in the morning when you wake up, or as part of your morning routine when you're starting your day, or as part of your bedtime routine when you're ending your day. I would also recommend doing it on Monday and Friday, bookending your work week with it. You sort of bookend the weekend that way too. Friday would start the weekend, Monday would end it. But these are ways to get gratitude practice into your life. It's simple, but it's effective, and it's important to do. Experiment, play with it, and see if after, maybe give it 60 days, and after 2 months, see if you're not noticing a change in your life. Here's the way, I told you about sort of the negativity bias and how it works, but just to tack on to that, if you were to hit pause on your life at any point during the greatest time in your life or during the worst, if you were to just pause for a second and sort of objectively, out of body experience, objectively look in on yourself, you could find reasons to be upset. You could find things that were wrong and things that were causing you stress or giving you problems. And also, you could find things that were right in your life, reasons to be grateful. And again, nature equips us with this negativity bias so that at any point in our lives, we automatically notice, just like that, we notice the things that are wrong. So we have to put some attention into noticing the things that are right. And if we do this, it's a game changer. So give it a try. And then if you like this email, forward it on to friends, share it with people, and feel free to respond to email me at Jerry, Jerry, .growthandthriving@gmail.com, and let me know what your experience with gratitude are. I'd love to hear about it. Thanks so much. Have a great day and a great week, and I will see you next time for the Morning Mindset. And until then, this is Dr. Jerry Sunshine Novak, the Biker Psychologist, saying, keep growing until you're thriving. Take care.